Hello and welcome to the Paris Fintech Forum Communities Programme. I'm Elliott Gotkine. I'm a journalist and with Laurent Nizri, co-host of this exclusive video interview series produced with the support of Solaris Bank, Rise and BPI France. Today I'm joined by the founder of a fintech that played a critical role in funneling loans to small businesses during the pandemic. She's one of the world's few female banking CEOs and founder of one of the planet's few profitable neobanks. She's also written a new book. So please join me in welcoming Starling CEO and founder, Anne Boden. Anne, great to see you.
Hello, and thank you for inviting me. I'm so looking forward to this.
Great. Well, how are things? I think you're just outside London. How are things under lockdown there?
Oh, very, very good. Except for those businesses that are really finding it quite difficult at present. I think that we have had a pandemic that has hit people in a very different ways. There's some businesses that have thrived, and there's some people and businesses who are really finding it difficult at present. But Starling has risen to the challenge. We transitioned to working in the cloud, remotely, very easily. And throughout the period, we've been really listening to what customers wanted and delivering product. So Starling's okay, but we really worry for those small businesses and people out there that are finding it very difficult.
Right, and you've actually played a role in trying to make it less difficult by being a distributor of the UK government's coronavirus business interruption loan scheme. And I think that also, as well as helping others, also helped Starling, move into profitability.
Yeah, we've had a very busy time over the last year. As soon as the lockdown happened, we started releasing new products that are very relevant for the population during that time. We also became members of the number of banks, the big banks and Starling really, that was managing the lending to small businesses. We've done nearly £2 billion worth of small business lending during the last year. And that is, it's a great help to those businesses because we had to be there for them during this time. We've got about 330,000 small businesses that bank with us, a part of 2 million customers that bank with us at present. And those small businesses needed loans. And we participated in the government CBILS and BBILS loan schemes.
Right, and just regarding that, as I say, it's obviously been an enormous help to your customers and certainly people who perhaps struggled to open accounts or get loans through the bigger banks. Would you still have been profitable without being a part of that loan scheme?
I think we would have been profitable if the pandemic hadn't happened and we had not been part of the loan scheme. We were planning to be profitable on a monthly basis by the end of last year anyway. So when the pandemic hit, we probably suffered 2 to 3 months of suppressed interchange fees because people weren't spending. But then we recovered and bounce back loans and other lending schemes came into existence, and then we hit our original plans. So we were planning to be profitable without bounce back lending or government back lending, and we managed to hit it because we managed to respond to the challenges.
Right, and I mean, I mentioned, your profitability, which in itself distinguishes you from many of the other neobanks that are out there. But what else differentiates Starling from the Revoluts or Monzos of this world?
We've always been a bank. We've never been just a prepaid card. So our customers come to Starling for banking services in the round. We provide very leading edge, high tech banking to small businesses and individuals. But our customers are a very different demographic. Our customers tend to be a bit older and they tend to be much more loyal and use their card and their account for much more spending. So our typical account has a balance of 4 or 5 times, even 6 times the balance on a neobank competitor. So those balances and the amount of money that goes to the account mean that we earn on interchange. We also can lend those balances, and each and every customer then is much more profitable for us. Interesting, the longer a customer is with us, the higher the balance. And the most recent cohorts are far more profitable than previous cohorts. And the mix of customers is getting far more profitable month by month. New banks are all about giving very, very, very different customer service. That's really, really top of all the rankings. It's about giving fantastic technology and elegant features, but you can't sustain it forever unless you're profitable. So hitting profitability at the end of last year was very important to us.
Right. And I mean, you and other neobanks for that matter have raised huge amounts of money. Starling is already a unicorn. You've made no secret of your plans to IPO. I appreciate there are probably things that you can't tell me, but is there anything you can suggest about timing? Is it likely to be in 2021? Is it possible you could go down the SPAC route, which now seems all the rage? And are your IPO plans impacted by your, again, public plans to buy an alternative lender?
We may not buy an alternative lender. We will buy a lender. So at the moment, we are out there looking for lending opportunities. The challenge we have is that we're growing very, very fast on deposits. And we are always outstripping our business plans. So as well as building our organic lending, we're on the lookout to buy a lender. And that may be an alternative lender. It may be a traditional lender. We feel that the alternative lending space is going to really be under different pressures as we come out of lockdown. And we think there are actually opportunities there. But as far as the overall business is concerned, I don't think you'll see us IPOing in 2021. You may see us IPO in the end of 22, early 23.
Okay, well, we'll keep a close eye on that. Now, I was speaking with Catherine Petralia of Cabbage a few months ago, and she was saying how playing a part in, providing these business loans, helping many businesses who would have otherwise struggled stay afloat during this pandemic. She said that was kind of one of her career highs. How does it make you feel, personally, to be able to be doing this? Would you share that sentiment that this is, one of the best things you've ever done in your career?
Yeah, I think that Starling is very, very good in a crisis. We're an organisation that's very agile, that has we measure velocity. It's all about being able to respond very quickly. And when the pandemic came, it was all about responding safely and quickly to the environment. We were awarded £100 million as part of the Capability and Innovation Fund a few years ago. And that was to help us build the best technology for SMEs in the world. And we had spent half of that actually on building SME capability for UK customers. That was fantastic at that processing, onboarding customers, processing all the various fraud checks, and then going on to doing lending. And that was ready to be used in anger, really, when the lockdown came and the Bibbles and the Sybil loan scheme started. So we were well positioned to have the best technology in the world to process these loans very, very quickly and very efficiently. And the advantage is we have the data in one place, and that gives us huge operational advantage.
But I think what I'd like to know, Anne, is how Anne Boden feels about being able to have been in this position to help so many businesses and so many people who might otherwise have struggled.
Yeah, I think that I think Anne Boden feels as if there's a huge amount of pressure to live up to what we could do and have the potential to do in a crisis. I must admit it was scary in March. What would happen to businesses? What would happen to us? But we realised very, very quickly we were very, very good at operating in this environment, and we became very visible. We were in the press. We were, in media, talking about what we were doing, and really rising to the challenge. And it does give you a buzz. It does give you a buzz to turn profitable. The October, November, when we finally, sort of got to a situation where we were profitable, was hugely inspiring to the organisation because it gives you sustainability. We're unique. We are high growth. We are a tech business in banking, and above all, we're now profitable. So those are the magic formula you need for sustainability. and talking about it, conveying that message, being able to be generous in this environment to our customers has been, it's taken away some of the edge of this horrible lockdown.
Right. Now, I know you go into great detail in this in your new book, Banking on It, but what made you think that you could, after, professional career in the banking space, that you could do this, that you could create this bank that would disrupt the space and that would be successful? Was there something or people around you that inspired you or encouraged you? Was this always your plan, or was it an accident? How did you get to where you are now?
Well, most people told me it couldn't be done. The number of people who said to me, Anne, you want to build a new bank with a new banking license, with new technology, keep customers fairly, and be profitable, and you're going to do all of this, and you're going to do it in across Europe. People didn't believe me. And I spent many, many years knocking on doors, having lots and lots of sort of breakfasts and lunches, trying to convince people that this was a possibility. And the book's Banking on It is the story of the great things that happened to me and the very bad things that happened to me along the way. And it's my story of really bouncing back when things went terribly wrong.
Right. Well, don't go away, Anne, because we're going to take a very quick break, after which we're going to continue our conversation with Anne Boden, CEO and founder of Starling. Don't forget, if you're not already a full member of our community, everything you need to join can be found at www.parisfintechforum.com. And now, Anne, I've got a few more questions for you, so why don't we dive a little bit deeper into your space. As we've mentioned, Starling is profitable. Many other neobanks patently are not. Are we inching towards a kind of shakeout of the sector? And if so, aside from Starling, who's going to be left standing?
Well, the wonderful thing is there are lots of new businesses that have been founded in the last 5-6 years that have really transformed the industry. Without lots of new fintechs, the big banks wouldn't have been forced to change their actual way of doing business. They've been forced to treat customers much more fairly than they were before. But the big banks are suffering from a dilemma. Their systems are old and antiquated, and as they invest in them, they cost more to run rather than less. So basically, they have three options: rip and replace. They could build on top of existing systems, and their cost base goes up and up. Or they can do a flanker brand. And those flanker brands are starting off, and people think they're a great idea, and very few of them actually succeed. In the neobank space, or in the challenger space, I think you got two levels of banks. You've got the second-tier banks that have been around for quite a while, which are in the specialist lending space, or the specialist raising deposits and then lending to specialist niches. And you've got the neobanks. And those neobanks, unless they're real banks, unless they have a banking license, are going to find it very, very difficult to compete. And then you've got the people that actually pick off the different sorts of propositions and tackle those. But those organizations need to actually be profitable. And there's a problem there. There's not enough revenue pools for everybody to go round. Right.
So what is it that you think other neobanks need to do to fulfill their potential? Do they just need to find a way to make money for their investors? Is that it?
I think it's quite difficult to transform an organization that hasn't been built with a view to being profitable eventually. There's a lot of VC money has gone into lots of organizations with the view that If you build a huge customer base, these customers will eventually make you profit. I think that's a flawed strategy. I think Starling has always pursued the route of let's grow with the right customers, with the right profitability model, and then we'll get there.
Right. And what other trends do you see emerging or gathering pace in 2021 and beyond?
I think the majority of organizations, whether they're big banks or small banks or neobanks, are going to be looking at ways of making their organizations more efficient. Things like artificial intelligence, machine learning will gather momentum. We've been talking about it now for many, many years. I think a lot of organizations like ourselves are now using those sort of systems, and it'll give everybody safer systems, better ways of onboarding customers, and more profitability in the sector as a whole.
And just finally, Anne, Bitcoin, we've seen, the world, one of the world's oldest banks in BNY embracing it. We've got MasterCard talking about supporting cryptocurrencies this year. Obviously, Elon Musk is a big fan. Are you a fan? Is Starling going to be doing anything in the crypto blockchain space?
We're not pursuing a plan at the moment. Ask us next year, and we probably will. So not for this year, perhaps next.
Okay, well, we'll definitely make sure we get you back in 12 months' time to see what's going on there. But unfortunately, we've run out of time. So, Anne, it's always a pleasure speaking with you, and I very much hope the next time we'll be able to do this in person when all this COVID craziness is behind us.
Looking forward to meeting you in person again. Bye.
Thank you, Anne. Now, I will actually be back next week with another big name from the world of finance and technology. So we do hope that you will be able to join us again then. In the meantime, you can keep up to date with all the exclusive interviews and content from the Paris Fintech Forum Communities Program via the website www.parisfintechforum.com. That's it from me for now. Hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.